Thought it might not be wise to stay inside, so I opened the door leading to the garden and I ran out into the garden. The street also running out from the house.
Resident that we spoke to just a short while ago, telling us about her experience. Respondent Harry Fawcett, he's monitoring events from Kuala Lumpur. Harry, earlier on when you were telling us about the tsunami wave that would hit the coast, would this be just one wave that would come in and wash away, or would this be a series of waves that people there could expect?
Well, a tsunami is defined as a series of worldwide, have a special emergency cabinet which will be convened in times of serious difficulty such as this. You're looking there at a coastal town swamped. And so yes, that emergency cabinet meeting is, once that cabinet meeting has been concluded. And so long prepared, wishes that these preparations would never have to be put into place, but at least they are there, and they will have been waiting to enact these emergency preparations, and that's exactly what they'll be doing now.
We just spoke to one of the residents in Tokyo there. That was Kim Williams, who's an English language teacher there in the Japanese capital, telling us that life is slowly returning to normal, that people are returning to their offices, returning to their homes. Does that surprise you?
It does a bit. Obviously not having felt this earthquake myself, but looking at pictures of people at the very moment it struck, the sheer power of it, and the fact that so much of Tokyo, in terms of the transport network, was shut down, 4 million homes without power. It's certainly been felt, the impact of this earthquake, very strongly in Tokyo. People were rushing out into the streets trying to ensure their own safety and get out of potentially damaged buildings. And so the idea that they're now re-entering those buildings and getting on with their normal work day does seem extraordinary. But I suppose you can just say it's testament to the fact that Tokyo is so well prepared and that its buildings are so well designed to absorb this kind of impact.
Okay, Harry, stay with us on the line now from Raglan in New Zealand. We have Dr. Jose Barrero. He's a tsunami scientist. He joins us there from New Zealand. Sir, what kind of tsunami warning would be issued now for that whole area around the Pacific Rim?
Yeah, the whole Pacific Rim is on a tsunami watch and warning status right now. It is definitely it's a severe event. The magnitudes were increased rapidly from the very first reports that came through up to now. We're up to around 8.9, which is indeed a large event. So it's definitely, we've seen what's come out of Japan. Actually, I'm sort of at a bit of a disadvantage because I don't have a television, so I can't see the reports coming in. I'm watching some on the internet, but it's hard to see. And given what's happened in Japan, we should, definitely keep aware of it. There's a lot of travel time until the first waves reach Hawaii, but the real-time buoys located in the Pacific have recorded this event, and it's on the order of 1 meter in the open ocean at this point in time.
Now, the fact that the epicenter of the earthquake was relatively close to the coast, about 125 kilometers off the coast, and was also in relatively shallow water, about 24 meters deep, would that generate a bigger tsunami wave or waves, or would they be less? Would they be much lower?
The fact that it was a shallow earthquake makes it worse in terms of the potential for tsunami generation, and so that was one of the first things that actually perked my ears up when I saw the initial reports. Now, the initial reports, of course, the initial information about depth is usually not very well constrained. The information that comes out in the first few hours after the event until more data is processed. But the fact that the initial estimates put it so shallow is a cause for concern, and it will be a tsunami has been generated, and yeah.
And in terms of preparation, in the aftermath of that earthquake several years back, the Asian tsunami rather, that killed so many people, in terms of preparation right now, would countries around the Pacific Rim be...
That sucked. Till next time.
Wow.
This is a frightening earthquake.
Sendai area. A large part of the city has been struck, engulfed by this tsunami. Farms being washed away along with houses. We don't know the extent of the damage. Million buildings in Tokyo and surrounding areas lost power soon after the quake. There has also been a massive power failure in the area hit hard by the quake in the northeastern part of the country. The river. This is from our camera reporter in Miyagi. And it looks like the tsunami has engulfed several cities in Miyagi Prefecture. Live footage of Miyagi as the tsunami has struck the area, obviously engulfing farms, homes alongside the river. In Sendai City, this is, in Miyagi Prefecture. Tsunami, live coverage of tsunami engulfing this Sendai area in Miyagi Prefecture. This is after a major earthquake hitting Japan Friday afternoon. Japan. Obviously, cars, trucks. You can see some of the tsunami, and it looks like some fire breaking out in the Sendai area after the tsunami has hit. Major earthquake that was revised to magnitude 8.4. One of the largest earthquakes ever to hit Japan. The tsunami has already engulfed some cities, fires breaking out due to the earthquake. In northeastern Japan's Iwate Prefecture, tsunami waves of over 4 meters were observed soon after the quake. The agency is in the Sendai area, Miyagi Prefecture, north of Japan. For those of you who have just tuned in to NHK World, a major earthquake hit Japan Friday afternoon about an hour ago, hour and 10 minutes ago. Japan's meteorological agency says the quake measured magnitude 8.4. It has revised it upwards to 8.4. The agency has issued a tsunami warning for Japan's Pacific coast. In northeastern Japan's Iwate Prefecture, tsunami waves of over 4 meters were observed soon after the quake. The agency is warning that the tsunami could reach between 6 and 10 meters. Currently contacting local governments and related agency to assess the extent of the damage. Tsunami has already struck, and you can see some of the damages so far in Miyagi Prefecture, northern Japan, and the Sendai area, but also for Russia. We're back to live coverage from our helicopter in Miyagi Prefecture, Sendai, northern Japan. That looks like the Sendai airport almost completely flooded from several tsunamis that has hit the area. Our helicopter is also at Miyagi Prefecture covering live the Sendai area where obviously a large tsunami has hit an area engulfing big parts of the city. Airport in northern Japan are still closed. On an NHK helicopter, obviously some fire in Chiba Prefecture breaking out on an oil refinery in Chiba Prefecture, north. A large fire breaking out of an oil refinery in Chiba Prefecture. An oil refinery in Chiba Prefecture in Ichihara area.
This is Martin Fackler for the New York Times. I'm the Tokyo Bureau Chief. Japan suffered its largest earthquake on historical record today. An 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off the northern coast. The quake itself did damage, but even more devastating was the tsunami that the quake unleashed. In some places, there were news reports of a wave more than 25 feet high that swept through entire towns, bulldozing through buildings and sweeping over cars as they were driving down a highway. The areas that were hit, many of them are very remote, and at this time it looks like there are at least 200, probably many more deaths, hundreds more missing. Entire swaths of northern Japan are now without power. Up near where the earthquake hit, the largest city in that area is a city called Sendai. The airport there was hit by the tsunami. The runway was covered with water and the airport terminal was cut off, and inside of it more than 1,000 travelers were stranded. One of the most disturbing news reports we've had is of a nuclear power plant in northern Japan where the cooling system has failed. And this has prompted the government to declare a nuclear emergency. People have been evacuated from within.